Hello, my name is Bernice German, and I am a math whisperer. This story will explain what a math whisperer does. Margarita was an 8th grade student in the most failing middle school in Colorado, in urban Denver. Her classmates were mostly Hispanic and mostly poor. She was considered to be so learning challenged that she was staffed, which means a paraprofessional teacher came with Margarita to every class to help her. She was a behavior problem in the school. She wore goth jewelry. Both of Margarita's parents were in jail, and she was living with an aunt. When Margarita was asked what she wanted to be when she grew up, she had no answer. Within a couple of months in my class, it became clear that Margarita was actually gifted in math. Once she understood a major concept, she could invent the details for herself. She had previously been taught math as procedures. You do this, and then you do this, and then you do that. And it made no sense to her, and she couldn't let it into her brain. I teach math so that it makes sense. Everything is connected to the real world, generally with objects that you can touch, hands-on objects. Once math made sense to Margarita, she took off. She surpassed the rest of the class. Her entire image of herself changed also. And what happened in our classroom was that Margarita could do the math herself, and the paraprofessional lady was way slower. And in fact, we had to ask the parapro not to come to class anymore. Because she had nothing to do, she was chatting with the other students, and they weren't getting their learning done. Randy is another example showing what can be accomplished with a math whisperer. Randy was failing 7th grade math when I began to tutor him. He had never been successful in math, except for a brief moment with multiplication of 9s in 4th grade. His teacher had showed the kids the trick for multiplication of 9s with fingers. So for example, 4 times 9 is 1, 2, 3, 4. You fold the 4th finger down and you count. The answer is 36. Works with all the 9s. Randy was fast as lightning with that trick and could even beat his teacher at it. He was so proud of himself. That's the good news. The bad news is that he proceeded to try to make all of math about 9s, deciding that 9 was the base of our number system, not 10. So Randy's issues with math were deep and layered. When I met him midway through 7th grade, he had an F. His father ran the best tile store in Boulder, and I traded tutoring Randy for tile work. Randy and I met twice a week for the rest of the school year. We had to go way back to establish a solid foundation for Randy. Just as with Margarita, all the big concepts were introduced by connecting them to the real world with hands-on objects. This made all the difference to Randy. By the end of 7th grade, Randy had worked himself to a B in math. And after that, he didn't need me. He had a solid foundation, and he believed in himself. That was 10 years ago, and Randy has since graduated from a technical trade school where math was essential. He excelled at trigonometry. And his father is so grateful that I continue to get great deals on tile. These are just 2 examples with very different people, showing that everyone can learn the math they need. Margarita had no parent support, attended a dismal urban school, and was able to see her giftedness. Randy had strong parent support, attended a solid middle school, and was able to succeed in math for the first time in his life. The same method worked for both of them. Math is supposed to make sense, and hands-on objects connect math to the real world. So if you know one of the 10 million American kids who currently struggle in math, I invite you to let them see that math makes sense. And when it makes sense, it becomes easy. People from 5th grade on who struggle with math almost certainly struggle with fractions. So that's a great place to start. Fractions are the basis for algebra, and with algebra, a person can graduate from high school and go to college. My fractions lessons are free and online and go from what a fraction is all the way through division of fractions. If you're one of those people who were taught division of fractions like I was, yours is not to reason why, just invert and multiply. You may be amazed to know that there is an easy way to understand division of fractions. It's in Module 8. So I invite you to offer the opportunity for success in math to your children and even yourself. It's the opportunity to turn lives around, and it's free at mathwhisperer.com. Thank you.